You try a squat for me. Just a quick screen here. Okay, come on up. Same feeling?
Nope, I don't have any pain.
Squat's okay? Okay, and then the back.
I suppose that's good.
Yeah. How's the shoulder been?
Pretty good.
Tolerable? Okay.
It just gets sore pretty easily from swimming, but like not bad, like not like hurt sore.
Gotcha. I'm okay with him having some soreness in his shoulder and his knee, especially if he's doing the activities that we want him to do, which is swimming and the exercises that I gave him. Reason being is that just tells me that those muscles are working and hopefully getting stronger. They're reacting to the stimulus that we're giving them, and then we're going to get a good result out of that. If it were just typical pain that he's been feeling without any sort of progress, or he's still not able to swim, that would be concerning. Go and lay down.
I think my knee's just like a slight soreness all the time now, like from those exercises.
Gotcha. Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna walk you down here. Hold on. Okay. I'm checking out here just joint laxity. So not the muscles, but every other thing, you know, ligaments, is holding everything in place, which we did a few of these first day before you got your MRI. How's that? Is that painful?
No.
No, okay, good.
It's mostly the other way that like.
This way?
Yeah, like I just like kind of just like feel like it moves.
Feel something. Gotcha. How's that?
Feels fine.
Yeah, everything's stable, technically. No, it doesn't feel that way. So that's a good sign. So what you just saw me doing was testing Dylan's joints for any laxity, looseness, or instability. And good news is there was none, which is good. But what was causing this feeling of instability of when he's swimming or doing any sort of activity is actually his muscles. So your joint provides structural stability, something that's always there, right? Your knee can't move past a certain point because your ligaments and tendons are holding it in place. But when you're actually moving, you want your muscles to stabilize the joint even further because it's being introduced to higher loads. So chances are what's happening are that his muscles are not firing enough or at the right time to provide the stability that he needs doing that movement, which can lead to some of the pain that he's feeling. But not to diminish what you're talking about, I get it, because what should be holding that stability feeling, connectedness for you is your muscles, so don't push it down. Good. Nice and relaxed there. Okay.
I definitely don't have pain doing as much stuff anymore. Like.
Okay. So just soreness from the heels together.
Yeah, and then also like not as many movements hurt it as it used to.
Okay, gotcha. Good.
I don't know, like if it's just like the rapid like motion, like
of the kick.
Yeah.
That gets it. Yeah, that can be it because you know, well, the quicker they have, I don't know if you know, but the quicker you have to try to recruit something, the harder it's. More skill it takes, essentially. So like I mentioned previously, your muscles not only need to contract a certain amount, but they need to contract at the right time. So in Dylan's case, if he's trying to do the breaststroke kick quickly, especially if he's trying to pick up some speed, it may be difficult for his brain to send the signal at the right time to get the amount of muscle contraction that he needs to provide him stability and a pain-free kick. Don't push this one this way. Which is part of why, like, track sprinters who do the 100 meters, they get injured so easily so often, just because it's the highest amount of force you could possibly produce in like that. So the propensity for something to snap just gets so much higher. Don't push this one this way. Not that something's gonna snap when you're kicking breaststroke, but just the speed at which it needs to happen, things aren't turning on as quickly as they need to. Don't bend your knee. Okay, any pain with that one?
No. And it's just like, so easy to do something wrong when you're not like on a solid surface.
Yes.
Like you twist your leg too much before your kick, and then you use too much of your ligaments or instead of your muscles. Like you
can't think about that. There's no way you can consciously do that. Don't bend your knee. Well, form and technique are pretty important in any athletic endeavor. You never want to be focusing on what individual muscle is contracting or how much you're using your ligaments versus your muscles when you're actually performing the movement. Just think about, am I doing this movement correctly? Don't think about the muscles, right? Do that during your warm-ups so that you can get everything activated beforehand, but during the time that you're practicing, just focus on the movement that you're doing. Good.
Or like,
yeah, don't bend your knee. Good.
That's gonna fix the muscle like memory.
Yeah, that's essentially what we're getting at, right?
I think I'm doing a good job with both my like lats, like using those more in my.
Yeah, your shoulders seem to be coming along really well.
On my left knee, I feel like there's more like I don't know how to describe it. Like.
That feel okay?
Yeah, like a recoil, like.
On the
like
left one?
I'll kick and it'll go like that.
Yeah.
Whereas my right knee stays more still after after the snap of the kick, and this one's just kind of like.
Yeah. So back to the stability thing, it just, like you said, what that would happen is the muscle isn't essentially keeping it in place like it does the right. That makes sense?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So is that like why massages are bad? Like.
Can be part of it, depending on how deep it is, right?
Like
they were literally trying to injure me.
Like, what's like a light massage? Like, is that?
Probably won't do it too much. Yeah.
But is there any good to that? Like, I feel like there's kind of like a contradiction. Like, we're told not to have a massage like a week or two before a big meet, but we're told to roll out every single night during the meet. Like, I feel like that's the same thing.
There's no thought put into that. There's no critical thought of, and granted, most swim coaches don't have a background in physiology, which you don't always expect them to, which that's fair. But yeah, they saw something on YouTube and like, oh, rolling is good, so let's do that. And it's not the same as massage, even though it essentially is.
One thing my coach did say is like it's super hard to translate movements on land into the water.
Yes, due to the fact that, like you said,
like you can do pretty much the same thing on land and it not hurt, but in the water it does hurt.
Yeah, because swimming is an inherently unstable sport. You don't have you don't have the ground to stabilize yourself on.
Yeah.
Swimming is an inherently unstable sport, as in there's no surface for you to push off of. It's just the water, right? So it's a completely different environment and it requires different demands from the body versus any land stable sport where you're like doing track and field or football or etc. Right? So you're going to have to activate muscles in a different way. With that said though, it is good to practice some things if you're just trying to get a certain movement down on a stable surface like the land first and then move it to the pool. Although it will be completely different in terms of muscle usage, you can get the movement down prior to moving it to a harder, more unstable area. Definitely push this one this way. So it's completely different for the body and how it reacts, along with just pushing yourself through resistance that you can't really replicate, even if you have like cables, like you've seen people on those like horizontal swimming machines.
That doesn't do it like much.
Well, I mean, I've seen plenty of triathletes I think actually get some good results from it, but it doesn't, nothing can really like perfectly mimic the water, right? So don't push them this way. Good. Also,
I feel like it's really strange because I feel like my shoulder will be sore when I'm not doing anything, but like you'll do these tests and it won't hurt at all. Like
so it's more so like if you're sitting in
like if
class.
I'll be sitting in class and my shoulder will be like, oh, my shoulder's aching, and then I'll actually like do something like with my shoulder and it won't hurt at all.
Yeah. So that sounds to me more like the late stage of the injury. Like it's just it needs that activation to actually get better.
Yeah.
You're probably just dealing with a little bit of whatever leftover tendonitis is. Like if there's a little bit of inflammation in there, that can irritate it. When so little amount that the movement actually just gets the blood flowing and it feels good again. But if it just sits there, it's painful, right? So for the shoulder, I don't think we have to change anything, which is good. Then we turn this way. Because if you move good, my suggestion is continue moving. And it feels good, then until it should just kind of go away with the pain when you're just doing nothing. Don't push up. Good. A little bit there. You might need to start working a little more towards the speed of things versus the activation, because you're able to basically turn the muscle on a good amount, like this, the right amount of strength that I would want to see, but
the speed is what hurts.
The speed is what, like the ability for it to do it at the time you want, as quickly as you want, is what's limited. So let's do this hip flexor exercise and then we'll try some stuff out there. So in order to get Dylan to improve the speed of his contractions while we're on land in a way that will hopefully translate better to the pool, we're going to do some plyometric drills, which are higher force output, so they include jumping, but they are also quick. So you'll see them here. Like this, so like, boom. I will stand on this so it doesn't move. Boom, boom. Feel okay with that?
Yep.
Start here. Okay. Okay. Little skiers. Back and forth one more time. Good.